Hello, it's me again, I'm Nafed. In this video, we'll talk about Airwave and its management for the switches and controllers. In a previous video, we talked about how to manage Instant AP and how does that work. Now in here, we'll continue with an example of that with a switch and a controller. What we're going to do initially, we'll verify the IP subnet, and then we will add devices in Airwave using ScanSet, and then we will look at if there are issues in the communication. We're going to troubleshoot them, and then once the devices are stable in Airwave, then we can look at the devices in Airwave, some details, and then we can look at Airwave topology view. Let's have a look. Now in Airwave, we would like to add, we already have Instant AP. We've seen in the previous video how to add it. Now I would like to add two extra types of devices: a switch, a ArubaOS switch, and a controller, mobility controller version 8. Now we'll do it in Instant AP. We've done it in the organization string, and that's an Instant AP and Instant AP. And we went to system admin, and we have added the Airwave and the details here. That is explained in the previous video. Now we would like to add the switch and the controller. Now, so first of all, that's our switch. So we can find out show IP. That is 10.1.10.5. And the gateway and the subnet mask is /24. Now for the gateway itself, show IP int brief, that is the 10.1.10. So, and /24 is the subnet mask. So in Airwave itself, what we're going to do, we will go to device setup, and in device setup, to add a device individually, we can go to add, and here you enter the details of the device, the same details we will configure on the device itself. Or you can go to communication and set the default values as well. So what we're going to do now, we will, or we can go to discover. So I'm going to use the discover method to discover devices and to add them to Airwave, obviously. So what is discover? We create we say, okay, which network we are going to search. So let's say lab network, and the network itself, we're going to go 10.1.10.0, and with the subnet mask, we're going to go 24.255.255.0. So you are telling Airwave to search this subnet. That's number one. Number two, we're going to add credentials. This is simply the SNMP. So we're going to go for, in this case, SNMP version 2. And SNMP lab. And the community string, we just give it a value, Aruba123, make it simple. So that's a community value. So we have added the credentials and we have added the network. What we need to do is to create a scan set. The scan set is, simply speaking, is a combination. So you say, okay, you're going to use this network, that could be multiple, and you're going to use this credential. And we can add. So now we have everything ready. We could have searched multiple subnets and multiple credentials, and you could have said multiple of them and scan. We can scan now, but before we scan, we need to do some settings, SNMP settings, on both the switch as well as on the Aruba controller, the mobility controller. We can do that from the command line, and we can do it from the GUI interface. Let's go for the GUI interface first. Now we are on the GUI interface of the mobility controller. We will go to the configuration, and we will go to system, and in system we have Airwave, and you can see clearly this is by default turned off. i.e. not enabled. Connect to Airwave, assign the Airwave 10.254.1.22, and you define the SNMP. We go version 2. Community string, we will add a new one. That's a new one. So we're going to go Aruba123, and that is the new one. And we're going to submit. So now we have this, but we have not yet finished. We will go to SNMP, make sure all settings are correctly done. Make sure that you enable trap generation, meaning any alerts will be sent to the Airwave. So Airwave is aware of that, and that is now enabled by default. We are ready to go and apply binding changes. Before we apply binding changes, I'll show you the command line that is being, or the commands have been issued. On the mobility controller command line, we can issue the command show configuration pending, and we can see these are the commands. We create a community, SNMP version 1 to community 1 Aruba 123, then SNMP host version Aruba 123, that's typical 162 port, and a management primary server and default AMP, which is Airwave Management Platform. Now we can write mem here, or you can go and apply settings on the GUI interface, which is, if you go here and you can click on binding changes and deploy it, or you can come here and you say write mem, simply speaking, that will write the changes. So now the SNMP settings is being set for us. If you go back to the GUI, that's fine, even if you don't do this. Now, if you refresh the page, this will go away because it's been saved. So that's one thing. Just have a look at the switch and what we're going to do on the switch. On the switch, we'll go to command line. That's no problem. And we'll verify from probably from GUI interface if need be. By default, ArubaOS switches. So if I show module, that's the switch, and that's the part number, and that's a switch 2930F, that's the serial number. Now by default, if you issue the command show run include SNMP, show run include. So by default, there's a SNMP community that's built into this one, and the name of that community is public. As best practice, we remove it first. So we're going to remove this. So no SNMP server community public, and make sure that that's the case. That should not be now anymore. We will configure SNMP, first of all, the Airwave as a SNMP server, and the community as well. So we're going to go SNMP server community, and we're going to make it the same as Aruba 123. And it depends how you would like to go for that. Is it operator, manager? So we go for manager and unrestricted, or you can just press enter. So we have created the community, SNMP community, and now we'd like to go with the server itself. So SNMP server, and the server here you can see, the host. We're going to configure the host here. So host, and you can see the host. You give an IP address for the host 10.254.1.22, and then you would like to use a community which is already there, yeah. And we're going to say Aruba 123, and there's nothing. So the trap level, we leave it as default. So we can say trap level here, all. We can say all. So all traps will be sent to that server. We can look into the web interface of the switch. We go admin, we have a password, we connected, and then we move on. We can see that we have system. Under the system, multiple things. There's one of them is, and that's the server IP address, the community name, utrap all. That is standard config, and you can edit stuff here if you would like startup config changes, any changes. I would like to make these as trap as well. So we have full trap management and confirmation. We're all okay. We're going to save this. Successful. So now the trap will be sent from all of these. So we now confirm that we have configured the switch as well as the controller with the community settings. And in Airwave, we have created a scan set and we are ready to scan. You could have scanned, obviously, and that would have discovered the switch and the gateway and the controller without having the right credentials. And that will be seen as an error. We can fix it later, obviously, by changing things on the switch as well as on the controller. But then a better option is to do scan immediately. And then you will have configured everything on the device to be managed by Airwave. Now, Mento 2, you'll see the two new devices listed here. And these are the MC1 Table 1 switch. That's the mobility controller model 7005, and that's a switch with details of IP, MAC addresses, and when they are discovered. So what we can do, so it's up to you. We can make it simple. We will just add them. We're going to create a new group, and let's call the group infrastructure LAN devices. Or let's call them lab devices. And let's go and create a folder. Go to devices and scroll down, create a new folder, and again lab devices. Make it lab network, that's fine. So when we add these two new devices, we would like them to add them into lab devices, and here we'd like to add them to lab network. So they're going to be added to this group and to that folder, and we're going to add them as monitor only and firmware upgrade. And we will confirm that. AMP upgrade lab devices, but we don't want to do this, and we're going to add them. They temporarily, as we said, go down communication wise, not physically. And once they take time to negotiate and update, they will come as up devices. So we still see them down after a period of time, and we click on the down, we see configuration unknown. So we can click on the MC1, for example, and let's pull the configuration from there, because once you pull it from there, that should be able to update the configuration on Airwave. That's number one. And we can do the same for the switch as well. So we click on here and we can pull the configuration. Status down SNMP get failed. So we might have an issue communicating SNMP. You can clearly see this one. So we have an issue with SNMP. We're going to fix that. So what we can do in this case, so we have two options. We can go to system, and we go to device setup, and then communication. Now these, or the switch or the gateway is Aruba, or the controller is Aruba, so we can connect to this one and fix this. And pretty much this is admin 1, which is a password, and we will save these. For the device itself, on the switch, what we're going to do, we will click on that, and we will go to the down, and we're going to click on this and go to manage. And for that individual switch now, we're going to change the community string. So again, it's the same as we've done on the switch. Anything else, we go, which is the SSH telnet stuff. Yeah. So we come here and we're going to go the username admin, matching the switch, and that should be enough for the switch, and we're going to save and apply, and we're going to say apply changes. That has updated the settings on the Airwave in relation to the switch. We will pull now. Now the two devices, now the new switch or the new devices are showing up, and if we go, if you like, to our folder, you're going to see them up, and that will be updated. That's fine, but they are up now. Now the controller has discovered or has informed Airwave about the new AP. So the AP will be added. We're going to add it the same access group and to the same folder. We apply. Now we can see the three devices, good configuration. The MC1 has informed Airwave about the access point it has, and now we can see the table 1 switch, MC1, and so on. We can click on the table 1 switch, for example, and we can see topology here. We refresh the page, you can see that's the switch and that's the mobility controller, and we can clearly see them. They are connected to each other, and if you click on here, it says table on interface number 3. This is the gateway or the controller interface G000, and that's what the switch is connected to, and details of that interface and so on. So we can clearly see that we are able to see what's going on these devices. Thank you so much for watching this video, how to manage switches and controllers on Airwave, and I would like to see you in future videos. Please don't forget to subscribe to see the latest. Thank you very much.